Kim, the Australian Gymnastics Championships, you've been following that progress throughout the week. What have we got tomorrow on that?
Yes, good evening, Bruce. I have indeed, and it is a hive of activity down here. We're getting a bit more work done with you up there. Yeah, we're doing a feature story looking at the exciting transition that the Australian Gymnastics is currently going through, and Peggy Brown, who is the National Director of the Federation, will be in the studio to talk about that. At the moment, the women have made an absolute quantum leap up the world rankings. They're currently 12th. And as you can see there, they've put in some stunning performances this week. Monique Allen, as she's up on the screen now, she won her 3rd Australian title yesterday, and she is a definite chance for Barcelona. There's also a wrap with Brennan Dowrick, who's the other big contender for the world titles. So, yeah, we'll bring you right up to date with all the gymnastics. Looking forward to that. Now, Alan Moffat's coming into the studio as well, and he'll be talking the touring cars as we see this little girl, Joanna Hughes, and Brennan Dowrick as well. Now, Alan Moffat's coming in. That's
Jim
right.
Richards is flying, isn't he, with the Nissans?
Jim Richards, Mark Scaife. I mean, the Nissans have just got it all over everyone else, haven't they? It'll be interesting to see if that stranglehold can be broken. What about the French Open? We're talking to John Alexander. Yes, JA will be in the studio. I'm looking forward to that. French Open, what do you think? It's a really wide open field, isn't it, Bruce?
It is.
Pat Cash, Richard Fromberg, but have they got it? I mean, can they get up there? No, give them very little chance, and the top seeds will be struggling. The women will do well. You've got a terrific basketball story, the tall and the long of it. The long and the short of it, that's for sure. Yes, well, you can't see me, but I stand 5'2", so it's an interesting story with the tallest NBL guys, that's for sure. Kim, looking forward to that. We've got racing as well, and Ken Sheldon's joining us on the football panel. Thanks very much, Kim. See you in the morning. See you. OK, Kim Sporton bringing us up to date with Sports World. Collingwood and Hawthorn. Well, I said at the start of the program, Hawthorn were a bit shaky. They'd only won 3 of their first 6, but in the past couple of weeks they've beaten Carlton and Essendon to bounce back into the 6. Collingwood has not won since April the 20th. Their last victory was against the Brisbane Bears. They're in a depressed state. Let's go to Waverley. First bounce, 45,000 people there. Commentators Drew Morfitt and Peter McKenna.
A big game here at VFL Park, certainly for Collingwood, who've lost their last 2, last year's premiers. Lawrence goes up, can't clear the ruck. Free kick sorted out by the umpire. It's going to Hawthorn. It's quickly taken, poked out wide. Allen on the run, hoisted very high. Hall back in the seniors. A punch away in defence by Barwick. Platt with Tuck. He lost control of it. Jenke number 1. Umpire put the whistle away there. Hall. Back after injury, Tony Hall. Pressure. You can back the pressure in from Collingwood today. The hand pass quickly out to Whitman. A centering kick. And a mark taken by Hudson. Paul Hudson needing to do a lot of goal scoring in the absence of Brereton and Dunstall. And he's been doing that lately. The Hawks with a slight breeze in the first term. Hudson from 45 metres kicks the first goal.
Great start for the Hawks. First blood to them with the goal to Hudson. Terrific play by Tony Hall, who worked very, very hard out on that half-forward line. Paul Deere was there also, but Hudson has just got that uncanny ability to get in the spaces like he's a father. Great judgment. Lawrence versus Manson. Lawrence jumps high, taps it down. Francis off the side of the boot. Should be a mark with the Hawks. Too slow, Madigan, to get rid of it. Eventually he does. Took his time. Then Anderson to the half-forward line. Robin marks. The Hawks starting off very, very well. Robin calling for someone to move. He should just get it and kick it quickly to the forward line. Matthew Robin still going back. Now he's going back to the centre. And he's found Lawrence. Now really gained no distance there. Steve Lawrence. Beautiful kick to the full forward line. Tony Hall at the back. Oh, almost a mark for the Magpies. Barwick lies on top of it. Players in after it. Tony Shaw goes to ground. Shoved in the back was Tuck, but it will be a bounce in front of the Hawthorn goal. About 30 metres out. The Hawks lead by a goal. Kicked by Paul Hudson. Massive players around the ball. Manson taps it to ground. Back into the right. Here's Tuck. Can't get his boot to it. Off the ground, the full forward was by Paul Deere, and the mark has been taken 8 metres out by Tony Hall. Well, a bit of fortune there, but Paul Deere is one of those scruffy types of players. He'll do anything to force it forward. He did then off the ground. Tony Hall shouldn't miss. He kicks. Oh, did he sneak it in? Yes, he did. Second goal of the game to the Hawks. Well, what a start, Drew, to Hawthorn. A couple of minutes gone and already 2 goals on the board, and they're looking pretty decisive.
Yeah, I suppose you could say there's some fluke element in that, but well-measured kick off the ground by Deere.
Well, his marking ability will trouble Barwick. He is very, very strong overhead, Tony Hall.
The Hawks have 2 goals up early. Lawrence wins this one for Hawthorn out of the middle. The hand pass, Jenky. Out wide for Anderson. Anderson waiting for it. Christian met it head on. Turner back to Christian. Well done, Deere. Anderson dodges. Hudson, 45 metres out. He's kicked his second. Great play, Hawthorn.
Well, you called it, Drew. That was magnificent football, just sheer determination. 3 goals straight, Hawthorn. Collingwood yet to score. But players combining. Anderson, a terrific piece of play. A very slick hand pass over to Hudson, and that guy is dynamite round the goals. He's a real goal sneak. And Paul Tuddenham, who's coming to the side in place of Tarpey, will have to play Hudson very closely indeed. Lawrence doing well in the ruck, comes in against Manson, gets the tap again, players going hard, holding the man decision on the Collingwood player, and it is young Paul Williams from Tasmania. He kicks to the half-forward line, some pushing and shoving going on, almost a mark. In fact, it was a push in the back to Banks. Collingwood could do with a quick goal. Banks, McEwen leads back, Banks undecided, kicks a high floater, McEwen versus Langford. Out comes McEwen, thumped away by Langford. Racing after it was Scott Russell. Back into play goes Ayres. Ayres with a quick kick to the half-back line. Jenky running with the flight of the ball. Waits, a very slippery surface. A wild hand pass by Tony Shaw. Platten into the fray. Oh, there's the free kick to Collingwood. Too high. Paul Williams to Jamie Turner. Turner to the half-forward length, and the mark has been taken by Dacos. Now, will he go for the torpedo punt? No, he goes short. The lead is on. Starcevic. Bad manning up there for Hawthorn by Greg Madigan.
And as most expected, Gary Ayres on Dacos.
Starcevic from 45 metres, they could do with a goal. There's a beautiful looking kick by Craig Starcevic right through the middle. So the Magpies hit back. Nice kick by Craig Starcevic. 2 goals the margin, the Hawks lead. It's good play by Dacos. As he went back, I thought he might have gone for the long bomb, the torpedo, but Starcevic had made the lead. Greg Madigan let him slip into that hole at half forward, and young Greg Madigan will have to play Starcevic very closely.
A vital goal that by the Pies. Hawthorn threatened to steal the game early. Manson up. Very high, wins the tap out of the middle. Starcevic again, dishes back the hand pass. No teammate there. Off the ground by Allen, and diving mark taken by Tuddenham. For the first time, getting an advantage on Hudson. Tuddenham goes wide. Alan Richardson pops it over the top to the skipper, Tony Shaw. Kick by Shaw, well inside 50. Manson on his own. He plays on. He's run down from behind. The kicker's a bit fortunate. McEwen, good pick-up. Roddy McEwen back at the seniors. Great stuff. But Ayres did well to get back there. And it's through for a minor score.
Yes, Manson thought he was clear. Far too long to get rid of that ball and was run down from behind. Gary Ayres goes short to Langford. Now what's happened? A 50-metre penalty. And the ball is being brought right down to near the centre of the ground. That's not good play by Collingwood. Gary Ayres. No, in fact, he's not going to take it. This looks like Chris Whitman. Whitman, beautiful kick to the half-forward line. This is Robran. Oh, good mark. Very good mark, Matthew Robran, the son of probably the greatest player ever in South Australia, according to the Crow Eaters. His dad was Barry Robran. towards full forward. Jarman in the front. Over the back was Hall and Michael Christian. Christian to Barwick. He's looking for someone to give it to. Around the corner he goes. Richardson at half-back, a good mark.
Pies wanting to run this out of defence. Up towards centre wing. Manson with a bit of a Pippy Domenico beard, is it? It's ridden into the ground. There's no 50 for that. Is that a 3-day growth or about an 8-day? Kick by Manson. Up short of half forward. Starcevic in front. Can't mark. Francis didn't have a chance to get rid of it, and the umpire will ball it up. Darren Goldspink and Brian Sheehan in charge today. And Hawthorn beat Collingwood both times last year in Collingwood's premiership year, and both times out at VFL Park. Centre wing. Lawrence taps down beautifully. Goes to Madigan. Deere outnumbered 2-1. He punches on for Hall. Barwick got the job on Hall. He's caught by Deere. Well done. Ball shuffled out. Robrin to Hall. Up to Hudson. Tuck runs onto it. Tuck rides the tackle of Tony Shaw. Hall soccers away for himself. A centering kick. Great play by the Hawks again. And a mark. Hudson again is killing it.
Well, that was a great mark. This kid is growing in confidence. Every game he plays, he has just improved out of sight. He's worked on his upper body and he's got the skills to match it. And that was a very clever mark. His third goal maybe coming up here from 20 metres. Paul Hudson kicks, no doubt about that, right through the middle.
Well, a brilliant start by Hawthorn, Hudson in particular. We go back to action in the first quarter. Collingwood's added 1 point, just under 14 minutes remaining.
Just under 14 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Deere and Manson. Tuddenham caught by Deere. Francis. The kick actually too long, and the mark taken by Lawrence. 75 metres out from goal. Smothered by Russell. Comes back to Lawrence. Well played by the big man. Steve Lawrence up towards full forward. Manson. Good defensive mark, and the Pies needed that.
Over to Gayfer. Oh, they're mucking around with the ball. They're in all sorts of trouble, but they get away. This is Alan Richardson going short. They haven't gained much to Banks. But Hawthorn putting pressure on that forward line. Dennis Banks at half-back. Now he's going short. It'll come off, but again, they haven't gained all that much. Mickey Gayfer hasn't got a lot of natural ability, but a big heart, Gayfer, to centre wing. This is Lawrence trying to tap it out. Gavin Brown is there too, and umpire now calling play on. Tap further afield. Scrambly passage of play. This is Richardson to half forward. The little fella Anderson brought down by Collins. That was good play. Jamie Turner slips over. That allows Hudson to come in. He tried to be a little bit clever. He gets away with it though. Pritchard over the top. Hawthorn are up and running through Jenky.
On his own is Anderson. Anderson thought of going back to Jenky. The kick inside 50. Christian takes the mark. Playing on Deere. Back to Barwick. Oh, it's blocked the hand pass. Jarman. Great play, Jarman.
Well, Hawthorn on fire. 5 goals to Collingwood 1-2. Jarman read that magnificently. That's the danger of the handballs on the back line. Trying to create the loose man. The attempt was there, but Jarman read. He is a very, very clever player. Read it well. Intercepted the handball. Tapped it down, and he's such a class pro. He doesn't mess around with that. Oh, bad sign here. Chris Whitman coming off. He's holding his arm. That doesn't look good for Hawthorn. Morrissey on.
Well, Whitman, by the looks of that, we might not see him back today.
Well, the ball at half forward for Hawthorn, and look at the tackling of Pritchard and holding the ball. Great tackle, Darren Pritchard. Off he goes. A kick it long. Oh, an awful kick to the half forward line. Collingwood still under pressure. Hand pass from Anderson. Barwick screams down the ground. At the back is Madigan. Dacos brought the ground. Russell. Francis, I should say. On to Banks. Banks slips over. Umpire calls play on. Hawthorn relentless pressure. And the umpire will come in and making too many mistakes.
Pies just looking a bit tentative. They must be so worried about this potential long losing streak. They'll be better off to go out and play really attacking football. Hawthorn get it out of there. Up towards centre wing. Manson. He's done all right, big Charlie Manson. High kick towards the 50. Lawrence spoiled by Starcevic. Starcevic's hand pass out wide to Banks. He ducks the high tackle. Madigan taps. Lawrence, hand pass blocked. Scott Russell, dragged down the tackle by Collins. Allen in there for Hawthorn. It's tight in the clinches. Starcevic goes backwards. Turner, look at the pressure. Kick by Jamie Turner to full forward. McEwen streams out. Can't mark. Langford the good spoil. Dacos knocked the ground. Collins out of defence for the Hawks. All Hawthorn here. Morrissey just on the ground.
Now, danger here for Collingwood because they've created the loose man, Hawthorn. A beautiful kick to Robin. Oh! That's 50 metres. Well, Barwick was committed. He was very, very late. And the umpire has ruled that is an infringement. And Robin will be brought down to 45 metres from goal, but he's hurt himself in the tackle. I don't think it's too bad by the look of it.
Barwick had to go on.
Yeah, he was late. But I think he did. He would have been, the coach wouldn't have been too happy if he had him pulled up, put it that way. This young kid's going to be a good player now. Whether his leg is a little bit too sore to kick it, let's have a look. There's the kick. It's swinging back. It's another one to the Hawks. Yes. 6 goals straight, Hawthorn. Collingwood floundering on 1 goal too.
Well, that was a pinpoint pass up to Robin. In between wing and half forward. Good mark overhead. Barwick streaming towards him. I suppose had to go on with it. Gave away the 50 and cost the team a goal. (36-8). It's a bit like how Hawthorn thrashed Collingwood in round 20 here last year. And that was just before the Pies went into the finals and won the flag. Morrissey on the turn. High kick. Hudson in front. Spoiled by Turner, his second opponent. Richardson on all fours. Platten for Hawthorn. Good hand pass to Anderson. And a good foot pass to Jenke at half forward. Hawks streaming to open spaces inside the 50. Williams. Platten a little toe poke. Hudson pulled down. Pritchard a good hand pass. Morrissey flicks backwards. Robin, how fit are you after that last bump? Deer goes to ground and the umpire's going to ball this up.
Well, Collingwood, no match for Hawthorn at the moment in the clinches. As soon as it gets into a pack situation, Drew, you can see the Hawthorn players, they're pass masters at tapping the ball on, soccering it on, shepherding, pushing, shoving. That's their game, and they do it better than anyone in the competition. There's Manson doing pretty well. Morrissey will get his boot to it here. Good play, Morrissey. They could have, free kick to Hawthorn or a mark. You name it, Tony Hall, too good, too big, too strong. That was a great mark and would have been a free kick, I would think, anyway. He was dragged down by Barwick. And he's creating problems, Tony Hall. He's already kicked 1. 7 goals straight for the Hawks.
So it's been a one-sided battle between the two clubs who between them have won the last 3 premierships. Hawthorn away from Collingwood as we check the scores to three-quarter time. They set it up in the first 8-1, led 14-5 at half-time, 17-10 to 9-12 at three-quarter time. We go to the last quarter, 4.5 minutes in.
Umpire Darren Goldsmith about to bounce the ball to start the final quarter here at AFL Park. Hawthorn 17-10, lead Collingwood 9-12. Spirited fight back in the third quarter by Collingwood. They tried very, very hard, but they mucked it up a little bit at times. There's Morrissey. Anderson a touch of the fumbles. Morwood played a good third quarter. Here's Tony Shaw, a quick kick to the half-forward line. Tapped down by Madigan. In fact, over the back it comes. Ayres versus Dacos. And now it's big Manson after the ball. Sockers it to the half-forward line. Mark taken by Barwick. Barwick started in defence and, Andrew Collins has hurt his arm here. That doesn't look too good. I don't know whether it's the shoulder or the wrist, but he's in a bit of pain. Barwick, normally a good kick. had a poster in the third quarter from a similar position, but Collingwood certainly needs something to lift them to start this quarter. Doug Barwick from 45 metres, directly in front. There's the drop punt, a beautiful looking kick right through the middle. Great start for the Magpies. 10-12 plays 17-10. Drew, that all started with a bad fumble by Dean Anderson up in the centre of the ground, but it was handed to him on a plate. And he fumbled, and Collingwood took it down the forward line. A soccer off the ground by Manson. Good kick by Barwick.
A few times Manson's been a bit reluctant to take clean possession. That time it worked all right. Vital first goal for Collingwood if they would have any hope of getting back into this game. Hooked out by Madigan, but it goes to McCartney. He's kicked wide for Barwick, who's got it again. 2 marks in 30 seconds by Barwick on Collins. He goes for the short pass. McCartney had followed up. Plays on and kicks the goal. His second. Not bad play by a 17-year-old first gamer.
Great play by Collingwood. They got it out of the centre. 11-12 plays 17-10. And the Collingwood fans coming to life. They were shell-shocked early by Hawthorn's brilliance in the first quarter, but the great comeback in the third, and this young kid's going to be a very good player. Madigan's made a few blues there at half-back. All of a sudden, the margin is only 6 straight kicks, 6 goals. Morwood, wide, looking for Francis. He's got backup support, but he goes and gets it himself on the left foot. He kicks it to the half-forward line. The Hawks look a little bit tired at the moment. Sock it off the ground. Collins races at it. Good play, Collins. Gets in a hand pass to Pritchard. Pritchard to Platten. Platten from half-back. Goes short, and he has found Jamie Morrissey on centre wing. Morrissey, another short one to Tuck. He fumbles it, and then it's tapped over the line by Starcevic. Can the Magpies pull off a miraculous victory? They are just under 6 goals down. And they're getting on top in the third quarter, and Hawthorn looked just a little bit sluggish.
Manson and Lawrence. Manson. Nugent came on in the third quarter. Back to Manson. Drops it in Tuck's tackle. Shaw for Collingwood. 30 possessions for the skipper. Almost a mark by Williams. Dacos. McCartney at centre half forward doing well. Banks puts the hand pass out wide. Chance for Williams from 50. McEwen in the goal square.
That was a great mark. Great play by Collingwood. Tremendous teamwork from the centre wing around the outer boundary. The ball was centred. One-on-one contest. Ronnie McEwen, he mustn't miss this one from 10 metres. He out-bustled Langford, and it'll only be 5 goals the margin. If he can kick this one, he shouldn't miss. Bang! Right through the middle. The Magpies come again. Trying to steady the ship. Centre wing. Oh, great mark. Top mark by Richardson, front of the pack.
Alan Richardson. For his 17th possession, up towards half forward. Banks! Dennis Banks came from nowhere to take that one. Away they go. Ayres might have given away a free. Oh, he might have been lucky there. Lawrence to Collins. Hawthorn under some pressure here. They've dominated all day, but Collingwood hitting them hard in the last quarter. Jenke. Kicked by Jenke. Starcevic and Robert. Starcevic gets it down to Turner. He gets the hand pass out wide. Comes unstuck. McGuinness. Keeps the ball in, Scott McGuinness. To half forward with his kick. Hall. Gafer spoils. Platten. Tuck down at full forward now. Kick drops well short. Hudson. Morrissey. The goal here for Hawthorn might stop the Collingwood run. Pritchard, he's kicked it.
Well, typical Hawthorn play there. Good play by Morrissey. They barnstormed that ball forward. They had running players. They knocked it on. Great play, Morrissey, and that's the steadier they needed, because Collingwood were definitely on a roll. 18-10 plays 12-12. There's Pritchard, who, by his standards, has had a fairly quiet day. He's only kicked one goal. He is a wingman, of course, but that will certainly steady the ship. Lawrence and Manson. Lawrence, a decisive hit out. Scott Russell. Socket off the ground. Gavin Brown has been fairly quiet. Oh, gee, that's not like Brown to take so long to get rid of it. Here's the dangerous Hudson. Jenky's normally a great kick. 45 metres out, Ray Jenky drifts it to the right and puts it through from behind. He's been a good player for Hawthorn today, Ray Jenky. 18-11 to 12-12, so the deficit still, well, they still have to kick 6 goals to hit the front, the Magpies.
And they've only kicked 12 in 3.5 quarters, so it looks a tall order. Pritchard gives away the free. Shane Morwood to take it. He goes out wide to centre wing. Brown. Oh, drops an easy mark. Platten off the ground. Platten after it again. Well played by Johnny Platten. And Morwood takes it out of bounds, about level with where he had the kick in the first place.
Gavin Brown is doing a lot of uncharacteristic things today. He never drops a chest mark, does he?
Unbelievable.
And he's had a pretty quiet day, Gavin, but we'll never condemn him. He's a fantastic player. Here's Alan Richardson. Good play by Morrissey to put the pressure on, and eventually it's tapped over the line. Hawthorn players are appealing for a free kick. Collingwood were blitzed in the first quarter when Hawthorn kicked 8 brilliant goals. Hudson's kicked 7, Tony Hall's kicked 3. There's Robran doing the ruck work. Kim Russell over the top. He's looking for Turner. Turner brought to ground by Jarman. Now he's lying on top of it. That's holding it. Maybe a little bit tough, but Pritchard better watch himself here, or it could be reversed. Now that might be reversed now, or is it, how will the umpires see this? It's on. And Nugent and Tony Francis having a bit of a dust up there being on the side of the pack. Now Hawthorn have got on with the game. Good umpiring to call play on Hudson for goal number 8. Kicks and goals. And the fight's still going on as Hudson kicks goal number 8. Amazing stuff.
Well, I'm not sure what Tony Shaw did in there, but some players who don't normally get involved in fisticuffs wanted to eat him alive.
Well, I reckon that was fantastic umpiring to ignore the fight. Just say, right, you blokes, get on with the game. And Hawthorn were the ones who had the loose men, and an easy goal to Hudson. 19-11 plays 12-12.
Well, those last couple of goals by Hawthorn surely have killed Collingwood's charge back into this game. Nugent, pass wide to Morrissey. Gets rid of Richardson. Not quite. Robran, awkward half volley. Lightning Pritchard. Gafer sees the ball out. Hawthorn led by 41 points at quarter time and 54 points at half time, and still by 46 at 3/4, and it looked all over. But Collingwood kicked the first 3 goals of this last quarter to give themselves a little bit of a chance. Turner. Platt in front of the pack. Getting better as the game goes on, John Platt. Hall drops a mark. You don't see that in a month of Sundays. Hudson again! Number 9!
Today's game is part of the Carlton and United Breweries 1991 AFL Premiership season.
Rain goals in the last quarter, 13 of them. Hawthorn 23-13, 151 by 43 points over Collingwood, 16-12, 108. Hudson got 9, Hall got 3 and Robran 3. And for Collingwood it was Barwick, McEwen and Dacos 3 each. The other matches today, what an upset this. Fitzroy's first win of the season against Geelong, 19-13, 127 to 14-22, 106 by 19 points. And North won a high-scoring game at the MCG, 21-15, 141. Longmire getting 7 against Footscray's 18-9, 17-127. We take a break. After the break, Scotty Palmer. Welcome back to AFL Today. Vulcan takes us down to the offices of the Sunday Herald Sun and the man in the hot seat, the man that knows all the gossip about footy, Scotty Palmer. How are you, Scotty?
Very well, Brucey.
What about the Lions, Scotty? Robert Shaw, they must be delighted about all that.
The heat is on out there at Fitzroy tonight. I think they'll be around the local hotel, the Brandon Hotel, celebrating tonight.
Malcolm Blight won't be celebrating, though.
No, he described that loss as a piece of mystery theatre. He said he's heard all these stories about Geelong in the past and didn't believe them, but perhaps there might be some sort of Alfred Hitchcock attached to it or not. He said, I have to look this thing in the eye, and over the next 3 or 4 days, things are going to be very, very serious down at Geelong.
What about injuries for Geelong?
Well, they've got Spiro Malakalis, who's broken his collarbone. He'll be out for a few weeks. And, of course, Damien Burke limped off late in the game with a thigh, and it looked like he might be out of the state team too.
Would have been an interesting press conference for Fitzroy. I believe Robert Shaw was absent.
Yes, he was absent. He told Richard Osborne on Thursday night, he said, when we win on Saturday, I'll disappear, you handle the press conference. And Richard handled it very, very well. And he said, we really thought we could win this game, and he thinks that 50% of the matches from now on will go Fitzroy's way. So that's good news for the Lions.
Let's talk State of Origin for a moment. Wayne Carey, will he be playing for South Australia?
Doubtful. He suffered another dislocation of his collarbone there at the MCG today. I saw it, he landed very heavily. But Schimmel said it was terrific to see the consistency of the North Melbourne side. That's 5 on the trot. We expected it from last year, and it's coming now. And, good form by the Northerners.
Yes, they had a couple of injuries and also a report, though, Scotty.
Yes, Rock's got a hamstring and Smith concussion. And, of course, Paul Spargo got in a dust-up out there with Michael Ford. It was quite a dust-up, too. Went for a couple of minutes. And he's been reported by 3 umpires, so that's worrying news for North.
Let's go to Moorabbin. Kevin Sheedy, what a coaching performance today.
Terrific. He stacked the team with backmen, and they did a wonderful job. They bounced them in the first quarter. And Kevin said that it was terrific to see the young blokes like Hills and Robertson, who they've just put in, shut down those really sort of strong movers of St Kilda. And he said it was, would have been terrible to lose 3 in a row, and they've got back on track now, and they look pretty good. Of course, Dean Bailey's done a knee as well, and he's going to miss 4 weeks. So the injuries just keep mounting down there at Windy Hill.
Unbelievable. And what about Hudson today? 9 goals for Hawthorn.
Tremendous. A second-generation aura is developing at Glenferrie Oval with 9 goals. A wonderful performance, and Alan Joyce was very tickled pink. He said that over the last 3 weeks, while all the senior players have been out injured, there's been a great character building out there at Glenferrie Oval.
Well, Scotty, we better leave it there. There's plenty to talk about, and I know you'll be joining us tomorrow morning again on Sports World. Thanks for that, with some state news. That big State of Origin match. Keep punching, Scotty Palmer, and don't forget that State of Origin game on Tuesday night. A couple of matches tomorrow, though, very important ones. It's Brisbane against Richmond. Should be a terrific match from Carrara. And then West Coast against Sydney. So it's football all day here on 7 from 1 o'clock and also 3 o'clock. Hope you've enjoyed the program tonight on a day that Essendon reigned supreme out at Moorabbin. They took the points.
This has been a 7 Sport production.